Hey, everybody, and welcome to this evening's Let's Talk Autism with Autism and Us. Let me see here. What this is all about is our online social gathering. So if you are brand new to our Let's Talk Autism discussions, this is where we come together and learn, share, and support one another. Another outlet for us as parents and caregivers, and even those of us on the spectrum. For those of you who don't know me, I am Nita. I am one of the admins of this wonderful establishment, and I'm going to put the link in for Mr. Charles. I see you there, Mr. Charles. Linda may or may not be with us this evening. I know she said she wasn't feeling well, so we'll see if she shows up. Hey, Teresa. Hey, Sonia. Hello there, Cynthia. So anyway, you guys, I have a topic we may can discuss, and I want to hear from you guys. I seen a post that was it was disturbing to me. This was on Instagram, and the person, again, I mean, we see a lot of this, recovering from autism or curing autism. I'd like to know, any of you that's in the chat that's here right now, if you truly believe that you can recover or cure autism. And if you do, come on up and let's talk about it. I'd like to know your reasoning of why, and what are you doing to make this happen. I myself, I don't think you can't recover from autism, and that's just really disturbing when I hear someone. And again, this is my personal opinion here, but I want to hear from anyone that's in the chat that believes in that. Mr. Charles, what say you?
Yeah, well, I mean, autism, first of all, is a very complex thing, and any talk of a cure is just unrealistic based on that. I mean, some of us have learned to adapt to the world around us. I feel I've adapted quite well, but all the same, that doesn't mean that I'm no longer autistic.
Right. Yeah, and I can't remember word for word, but we get a lot of this coming into the groups too. The detox thing. They have this miracle, so and so doctor. He cured my child's autism, and we have to delete a lot of that because it's just spam in the group. But this post was made on Instagram, and this person was just dead set. I believe, and if your child recovered from autism, that they probably never had autism, if indeed there was a recovery from it. Now, can you progress? Yes, you can progress. You can learn things. You can live a nice life. Mr. Charles is an example of that. But using the words recover and curing autism, no. Anyone else?
Yeah, I mean, my feeling on that too is, that of course it depends on how you define autism, because there are some conditions that can produce symptoms similar to autism. I mean, I once met a guy who had suffered brain damage in a motorcycle accident, and he acted a lot like someone who was autistic. Do you say that he became autistic as a result of the motorcycle accident? Depends on how you define autism.
Right.
And so, likewise, it's possible that some who have been exposed to some toxic chemicals, heavy metals, who knows what, that maybe that produced autism-like symptoms in them, and maybe ridding their bodies of those toxic chemicals can cure those symptoms. But again, unless you define that as part of autism, you're not curing autism. You're curing something that produces symptoms like autism.
Yeah. I know that there are cases where kids are exposed to lead and, they get those, symptoms. Also, I think a while ago I read about schizophrenia has some of the same similarities as autism, and I believe once upon a time, I don't know, maybe you can correct me, Mr. Charles, that um, they used to diagnose people who actually had autism with schizophrenia. Is that
It wouldn't surprise me if that was true. Temple Grandin, in her book Thinking in Pictures, used a great illustration of the difference between schizophrenia and autism. Perhaps the most striking difference. That's that um, you know, people with autism can go off in a dream world and imagine scenarios, whereas people with schizophrenia actually believe that things are happening that are not. A person with autism may imagine an invasion by space aliens, but he knows the difference between what he's imagining and reality. He knows the difference between imagination and reality. But a person with schizophrenia, on the other hand, may actually believe that they're being invaded by space aliens.
but how would someone determine that? I mean, even a doctor. I mean, if the person is autistic and they're or they may be schizophrenic, and they're saying I'm being invaded, how would we know uh, which to how do we distinguish that, or how do doctors distinguish the differences?
Well, I think it would take asking skillful questions to determine whether this person really believes what he's saying is true, or whether he's imagining this and he knows that he's just imagining it.
Mhm. Cynthia says, I'm excited. I finally got my grandson his official diagnosis for my 3 year. All right.
Very
Official.
good.
All right.
Very good.
Sonia says, they don't recover, they do change. Yes, they can change. And like I said, they can progress and everything. But that word recover and cure, oh, dog. Yeah. Hey, Monique. And I'm so sorry to hear about your mom, Monique. Love, hugs, and prayers to you.
Oh, did she lose her mom? Sorry. Sorry to hear. Yeah.
Adapting to life changes, some masking. Yes.
Yeah. I avoid using the word masking, at least referring to myself, because I don't feel I've made any effort to mask anything. I just feel I've adapted to the extent possible.
You're welcome. Hey, Melissa.
Hi, Melissa.
So, what I'm looking for, we don't have that many people in here, but I really would love for someone who actually believes that, you know, their child could just magically recover or be cured from autism. Like I said, you see so much. And then, like I mentioned before, a lot of times you got to be careful. You have parents who are really hopeful and looking for some immediate or a miracle to just happen, and you get these people on here selling the snake oil, so to speak, And they start spending all of this money, a lot of money, for the detoxes. Um, and like you said, they may relieve whatever the toxins is, the symptoms from that, but you're not taking away that autism or that schizophrenia, right?
Yeah, and some of the detox is truly snake oil. In other words, it doesn't really detoxify either. And,
All right.
you know, and these testimonials, you got to take them with a grain of salt. When people are paid to testify for a product, I mean, people will go for things when they're desperate. They'll fall for things because they figure it can't hurt. Well, first of all, it can hurt your wallet.
Yes,
At the least,
very much.
it can hurt your wallet, and it may hurt the child. It may make things worse for the child, depending on what it involves. But it's like cancer patients that travel to Mexico for Laetrile. Um, there's
Now, what is
a
Laotril?
Laetrile was a quote unquote medicine made from apricot pits. Uh, for one thing, apricot pits contain cyanide, and in some cases, the result of this Laetrile treatment hastened the death of the cancer patient. They
Oh,
died from cyanide poisoning in some cases.
mm, mm, that's sad.
But it was not approved by the FDA, and it was never approved by the FDA for a reason. And so
Mm,
people travel to Mexico to get it. Well, it's not approved by FDA, so let's go to Mexico where they don't have such tight regulations. Well, there's a reason the FDA didn't approve it.
right. There's a lot of stuff the FDA hasn't approved, and that's one. You see all these miracle doctors, a lot of them on Instagram, because you see a lot of them coming through the group, and they'll say order this or reach out to Doctor So and So. I even had someone reach out in the inbox about a miraculous doctor that can do some wonderful things. But you don't see these people and you don't hear from them, but they want to sell this product. And they're hoping that they can pull at your heartstrings. Um, what say you, Roxy? What do you feel about the terms of recovering and curing autism? And you too, Melissa. What are your thoughts? What are you guys' thoughts? I'm actually looking for someone who um, really believes in this, because I know we've had a couple of members in the group, and then I have to wonder, well, why are you in a group if you having such success with this miracle, or this miracle has happened with your child? Why are you here? Are you here to take advantage of, the parents who are hopeful and looking for something? Hey, Danielle.
And Danielle, yeah,
Yes, scammers.
that does not make a whole lot of sense for them to remain in the group. I mean, I mean, if they can tell us what the dramatic changes are they saw in their children, that's another thing. But if they can't
Right.
tell us that, you know, uh, well, then what basis is there for them thinking that this is a miraculous cure?
And then even when you see some of the parents showing, they only show bits and pieces of their kids, so you'll never really know, you know their child may be having a good day, so they're on there showing their child doing whatever and saying, oh, look at, but when the camera is off, there may be something else. So again, everybody, we're talking about cures and the word recovery. I don't believe that, but I was looking for anyone that is on a live who actually believes there can be a cure or recovery. I want to invite you up, and I want you to share with us Why do you believe that? Where did you get that information from? And all of that good stuff. And let's talk about it. Melissa says, no, you can't cure autism. You can get service or help that may help them lead better life. Yes. Yes, a better quality of life. You can definitely um, get services like speech, occupational therapy, physical therapy, ABA. You can just take them out in the world and to have them experience things, and that can be helpful into someone's life.
Yeah, and then you hear people who say the kids will grow out of autism.
Oh
That's
yeah,
another one. You
that's
hear
another one.
that, yeah. Answer that. Anybody tries to tell you that, show them my picture. You can share my picture with them and tell them this guy is going on 77 years old and he ain't growing out of it yet.
Danielle says, I've had people try to sell, convince, use me to advertise their product. Oh yeah, yeah, I've had that happen too. Yes, and Melissa says, yes. So yeah, just everyone just be careful. I mean, I'm not gonna knock anyone who tries it, but then you hear the craziest things of parents taking your children through so much just to get this cure or recovery. I don't know. Cynthia says, I think if there was a legitimate cure, FDA and doctors would be backing up and educating us. Yes, yes.
Yeah.
But you definitely can't cure something that's embedded in you. Roxy says, no offense to anyone, but yeah, I do not believe there's a miracle cure, a miracle anything. They don't grow out of it, and they definitely do not need a spanking. That is correct. Yes, Roxy. I'm calling you Rocky. Roxy. Yeah, because you will have parents that will say, well, all they need is a good. Now, that's more of the old school. They just need a good butt whooping or something that'll cure anything. You hear that.
Yeah, I mean, spanking, of course, there's a lot of controversy about the whole subject of spanking. I got spankings when I was growing up, but they
Oh,
were
I did
about,
too.
but
I did too.
they were legitimate disciplinary spankings. They weren't attempts to spank. Well, of course, my parents didn't know about autism, and none of the doctors gave them answers. But to spank what was different about me out of me.
Hmm. Yeah. They just think you can spank the badness or whatever your child is doing. If your child is just being themselves, what can you do? Danielle has said, I've heard it all, sick of it. Yes. And it's just a continuous thing. But I'd also, has anyone's child been diagnosed with both autism and schizophrenia? Has that ever happened, or do you know if anyone
And I
has
wouldn't rule out the possibility somebody could have both.
okay.
Um,
Even though
you know,
their symptoms collide, so to speak.
yeah, but still, I mean, they're two more or less independent conditions, and so it, I wouldn't rule out the possibility somebody could have both autism and schizophrenia.
Hmm. So, anyone else have anything to add? What are some of the craziest things you guys heard when it comes um, to autism? What other things besides the miracle cures have you heard anything? Um, Hi Kendra. Amen. Everyone doesn't like the way I'm raising my 5-year-old level 2 ASD because I don't spank him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just can't just spanks someone just because you don't know what's going on, and people don't know you know what's going on in your household and what's going on with your child. um, People, they just take a look and just automatically assume. But does anyone what are some of the craziest things you've guys heard um, when it
And
comes?
what can be
Yeah.
especially tough situations where one parent accepts the diagnosis of autism and wants to do the best to help the child, and the other parent refuses to accept it and
Oh yeah.
instead insists that it's a disciplinary problem or it's whatever, and
Or they say
wants to
there's nothing wrong with that child.
yeah and they want to operate at odds with the other parent, and whether the parents are together or separated, either way that poses a serious problem.
Hmm. Yeah, especially when they are at odds. I was told my son was cursed and needed discipline. Wow.
I've
That's
heard in some countries it's a common belief that autistic kids are demon possessed, and they put them through all kinds of exorcism rites to try to uh,
yeah, that's really crazy. Roxy says, I stopped taking Raymond to his barber when he was little because he sat there and told me that it was all in my head, and that if I brought Jaylene and Raymond to his church, that they would be cured and freed of autism. Oh my God.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
yeah,
religion.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you. I would have stopped going there too.
Yeah, especially when religion gets injected
Yeah,
into it. You know, um, yeah,
yeah, that's terrible. I had when my son first got diagnosed, I had what do you call that with the sage? I had someone that wanted to come. I don't know what you call it, but when people sage your house, and it was supposed to help get. This is my daughter. Get rid of. Can you continue the conversation for just a second, Mr. Charles?
okay, yeah, okay. Well, if sage cures autism, then I should be cured because of the times I've had chicken or pork saltimbocca, which uses sage leaves, so that should have cured me. But everyone keeps saying I can't use this ASD as an excuse for the way he behaves. Oh well, I hope everyone doesn't keep saying it. Just certain people keep saying that. I hope.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Teresa. People tell me that there is no such thing as
No such
ADHD.
thing as ADHD or autism at all.
Mm-mm-mm. Well, what do they think? I wonder.
Yeah, I mean, my daughter has ADHD. She only found that out in recent years, just as I was diagnosed at about the same age. I was diagnosed with autism about the same age as which she was diagnosed with ADHD. But
Monique says that was my problem with Justice's dad, and that's what broke us up. He didn't believe there was anything wrong with him. Wow.
yeah,
Smudging, yep. That there it is. A cleanse. Okay. Yep. Yep, I surely did have someone who wanted to do that because I guess that was supposed to take it away. I was also told, don't claim it. And I'm like, don't claim it, especially after I found out what it was and everything. And yeah, to have people in your head trying to tell you, oh, don't claim it. We're going to do this. Yeah, it's crazy.
well, if sage cures autism, just feed the child chicken saltimbocca or pork saltimbocca because those have sage leaves in them,
Oh, okay. Again, I get so sick of judgment. Me too, Danielle. Kendra says my son is diagnosed with both. My son too. He has both autism and ADHD. Two separate diagnoses. Melissa says I have weird theory. I think autism might be part of evolution of our species. Just a thought. Evolution. What do you mean? It's been around for a while.
Uh, I've heard people say that, and they're trying to present autism as being advantageous in some way, and no, it's not an advantage. Even my special ability in math, I mean, it's great. It's been come in handy at times for me, but I think back to when I was in my senior year of high school when I placed first in the state of Connecticut in a national math competition. But if if somebody had offered me an opportunity to exchange my special ability in math for the ability to fit in with my classmates, I would have gladly made the exchange.
Hmm. Um, yeah, when she said that, I was thinking that it would be since a lot of kids are starting to get diagnosed. It's this miraculous thing that's evolving all over the world. Something I've seen a lot now too is the young kids using autism as a pun or excuse as well. It's sad. Oh, wow.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise.
Wow.
It's like the same thing I explained about, where most of the members of this group are 50 or younger, and anyone who's 50 or younger would not know. In fact, even if you're 60 or younger, perhaps I should say, would not know that the expression that we now don't use anymore, that we abbreviate MR, used to originally that was the polite way of describing intellectual disability. It replaced the terms moron, imbecile, and idiot.
Wow.
It replaced those terms. Yeah, that's right. Originally, the person
Yeah,
with an
that's kind of harsh.
originally a person with an IQ between 50 and 74 was classified as a moron. A person with an IQ between 25 and 49 was classified as an imbecile, and a person with an IQ below 25 was classified as an idiot. And they replaced that with the expression we now abbreviate MR, and that was a polite term for a while. Then somewhere around 1980, young people started making retard into a noun and using it the same way people use the word idiot, and it became an insult, and even got to the point where now even people use compound words involving that expression to characterize people whose political views they disagree with. And
Wow.
we've all heard those expressions.
Yeah. Danielle says my son is diagnosed with both autism, ADHD, and a few other things. Yes.
So it doesn't
Uh,
surprise me that the same thing's happening with autism now.
mhm. Don't speak it into existence, is what that Barbara said. Yep, I was told don't claim it. It was already there. So what do you mean? Don't claim it. It's there. Let's stop claiming cancer, diabetes, HBP, etc. Yeah, I wish all of that would
Yeah.
go away. I wish all of it would go away. Teresa says people tell me that when my son has his meltdowns that I should spank and he'll at my son and tell him to knock it off. And yell,
Yell at your son. Yeah, they're really interesting. Yell at her son.
yelling will just make the meltdown worse. Don't they understand that? Oh my goodness. I love listening to Mr. Charles do math. Yes, Mr. Charles is something else. The numbers man. goodness, my phone is not going to stop ringing. Teresa, I think I'll be an orange jumpsuit if someone was saying, right. Yeah, that is for sure. I've heard where these kids now, for example, instead of saying, "Are you dumb?" they will say, "Oh, it's autism. It's so sad." Wow.
Yeah, that's the same
Wow.
thing that happened to the expression that we now abbreviate MR. That was a polite expression at one time, the accepted medical term, and then they started using retard or tard, the way they started using it somewhere around 1980, and it went downhill from there. Now they're doing the same thing with autism.
And that's another reason why, autism, it's important to talk about it, especially to our kids, you know, especially the young kids around in the schools. They need to know what it is, and it's nothing funny, you know. They're human beings, just like you. Hi, Lisa. Alice is autism level 3, nonverbal, but she has words. I feel she has ADHD.
Yeah,
Okay.
she might. Yeah.
Yeah, that could be possible.
Yeah, so I guess what she's saying is she says some words but doesn't connect them into any coherent sentences.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And of course, that really could too be often people with autism do become verbal, but speech development is delayed. Albert Einstein had delayed speech development,
Mm-hmm.
and because I think back to of course I being a parent myself, raised my daughter, I see how speech development goes through phases. And the first phase is saying words. And I remember holding Dorothy in my lap, and she was pointing my eyes and identifying eye, nose, mouth, ears, tie, so on, identifying parts of my face and parts of my clothing and so on.
Mm-hmm.
And gradually getting from there to using phrases and then using short sentences and finally using more complex sentences.
Okay.
And so a child who's not yet considered verbal but has some words, that's a good sign. They might be on their way to progressing to becoming fully verbal.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I can remember when DeAndre said his first words. I mean, he was 9, but yeah. I still have some things. It's still kind of hard to make out what he's saying, but for the most part, he uses his voice a lot. And Lisa says, yes, she says words. She communicates like, "Do you like water?" Oh, okay.
Do you like water?
Mhm. She
Yeah. Oh,
communicates.
so she can say a short sentence then. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just reminded of when my daughter was very little, and she was in a playpen. We had a TV in the room where the playpen was, and that was. And considering the time, this is in the early 1970s. You got to remember what was dominating the news then.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, and one of these newspaper cartoons, I think it was Channel Chuckles, they showed a man arriving home from work, and his wife was, and they had their baby's playpen right in front of the TV set. And his wife proudly announced to him, he just said his first word today, Wawa Gate.
Wow. Watergate.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Uh,
The Watergate hearings were dominating the TV at that time.
Lisa says yes, but then she will be hurried and can only say a word at a time. Okay.
But she may well be on the way to becoming verbal.
Yeah, she's using her voice though. That's beautiful. Even if it's just one word, she's using her voice. So if you are in here, make sure you guys thumbs up. Please show us some love. Um, and tonight's focus was on recovery and curing. And I was looking for anyone who believes in that to come on up on a platform and tell us why you believe that and what methods have you been using to make this happen. Um, but there's no one. Hey, Beth, long time no see. How are
Hey,
you?
Beth. Yeah, I think everybody here pretty well knows that there ain't no such thing as a cure.
We are encouraged and hopeful. Yes, continue to be encouraged. Continue. Yeah, well, I guess so. But sometimes, like I said in the group, you see the comments. We have to get rid of them, but they come and
Well, of course, also some
and
of
then,
it.
like I said, I seen that post on Instagram. That just, and I had to say something in the post. I'm like, really, what?
Well,
And
some of it is, as you say, snake oil salespeople. They aren't people who necessarily really believe that anybody has been cured from autism, but they
mhm.
want to sell their product.
Oh yeah.
They want to sell their snake oil,
Hmm.
and
And probably
yeah.
themselves haven't done any research on it. They just probably heard someone else who's making a lot of money from it,
Or
and they,
maybe they want to make a lot of money and
mhm,
take
yeah.
advantage of parents who are desperate for something.
Beth says, "Hey, doing okay? Have been watching grandkids on Sundays, but that is done. Oh, okay."
All right, yeah.
Happy Lorienda. We have a lot of members that still think yes, yes, a lot. And again, all I can say to anyone who thinks there is some miraculous cure or you can recover from autism, just be careful and do your research, please. Don't fall for the okey doke, is all I'm saying. Hey, Stacy.
Hi, Stacy. Yeah, I liken it to the people, cancer patients, particularly terminal cancer patients. They've been told they have 6 months to live. Um, why not try Laetrile? Well, Laetrile could cut those 6 months short because it's got cyanide in it, and in any case, it ain't going to cure the cancer, and it'll lighten your wallet, lighten your bank account.
Yes. And most of these things now is just about money. Money, 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 money. You may have to, yeah. So what I may do, Lorienda, I may put it out, ahead of time what we're gonna talk about, so it'll be in the heads of everybody, and then we'll come back to it. And that way, I just thought of this tonight. So yeah, you're right. We're gonna extend this and do another LTA on it. Roxy says it's sad how people have no heart and take advantage of the sick and the people with different yes, that's really sad. And they no feelings whatsoever. They don't care as long as they're helping themselves. They don't care about that person and you know what what they believe. It's all about them. Advertise. Yep, that's what I'm gonna do so we can get this topic because I really, really want to have someone who believes in this and just so we can have a discussion and tell us why you feel this way, what have you done to do this, what was the miracle, and you know um oh, that's Lorianne saying hello to everybody. Cynthia says, what do you all think about genetic testing and music therapy? Genetic testing, I think, is good. It could um, possibly um, let you know something. Sometimes you don't get anything in regards to autism But there is a lot of genetic testing happening. Even the doctors now, they will suggest, if you want to get a genetic test done. And sometimes you can see if it's been rooted in your family, and sometimes you just won't find anything. Music therapy. I love music therapy. I love it. My son, he had music therapy from elementary all the way. Now I think they do it. I think once a week now. He's in high school now, but in elementary school they had music therapy every day. It was guitar. I actually have a video of him. He was so fascinated with the guitar. Guitar. He might have been like 7 or 8, and the therapist that helped his class, she did her, what do you call it, dissertation, when they're going for their
Yeah, dissertation. Yeah, her PhD.
I'm saying dissertation, dissertation. And she used DeAndre, but it helped him a lot. And I told you he's fascinated with the microphone, the music, the mic, and she really, and that was in elementary school. So music therapy can bring out the best in anyone, in anyone.
And I have to say too, although music therapy per se didn't exist when I was growing up, we had a lot of music in the house. My mom was very musical. She liked to sing. Often in the morning, she would regale us with a song from Oklahoma, "Oh What a Beautiful Morning." Uh, she and we had a piano for many years too, and so there's a lot of music in our house, even though there was it wasn't music therapy per se.
Right. But it felt good.
Oh yeah, definitely. Hi, Lorienda. And of course, since then, even last night we were at a retirement party and music going on, and Cindy and I got out on the dance floor, and but that actually took me back to 1965. A lot of the music they're playing, they're taking me back to 1965 when I went to the Motown Review in Detroit.
Oh, okay. That was before I was born, a couple years.
Yep, that's right.
I was born in 68. Beth, I don't think there is a cure for autism. Wish there was a cure, though, for ignorance and hate. Oh, yeah. Yeah. They definitely need a cure for that, Beth. Definitely.
It's just like they come back that I suggest for, but he doesn't look autistic, and you don't look stupid either.
Right. What is he supposed to look like? My grandson had genetic testing, was good for things like which meds he could. And see, that's one thing I want to try with the meds. And I wish I would have learned about it, early on. And because they said it's very helpful in knowing which medications to use. And because we've been through several with DeAndre, he could and shouldn't take. Yeah. I think music and art helps. Yes. Brandon's doctor did genetic testing and found a gene to link to autism. Me and dad did submit ours, and we haven't received results yet. Okay. Roxy says, I like the genetic testing, and the music therapy is the best. My kids have musical background, so they love it. Jaylene plays so many different instruments that the high school started a musical program in the band for the sped class. Love it. Now, see, that's what's up. Yep. Include them babies. Get something started. Absolutely. And yeah, even now my baby loves to dance. He loves all kind of music, all kinds. Old school, new school. I mean, that's just therapy at home. we gotta we gotta see you in your boogie shoes on. Oh yeah, did you guys check out the video with Mr. Charles dancing?
Yeah, that's right. That was at the formal that scene I went to
Yeah.
a few
So
weeks
if you
ago.
missed
Yeah,
it, it's somewhere in the group. just look up Mr. Charles' name and the video should come up and you'll see Mr. Charles on the dance floor.
Yeah, because Cindy wasn't up to getting out on the dance floor that night, but her friend Hattie went out there on the dance floor with me. And when Hattie got tired, then Hattie's friend uh, Wanda came out there with me, and so
Oh, you
I
were
got
full
out
of energy.
with Hattie and then with Wanda.
You were full of energy. Oh, I'm sorry. My second oldest just had surgery. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah,
Well, I hope everything's okay. She had a
hope so
biopsy.
too.
Hope everything's okay. Oh yeah, we sure do see Mr. DJ DeAndre on his reels. Oh, dancer, he's turned into a dancing machine. I think that's his new thing. You know how he switches up. It's like every other month he got something new he got going on. So he's loving the dance now. My son-in-law, dad to my autistic grandson, knows he is autistic now. He can play just about every instrument and has perfect pitch. It's amazing. Wow.
Yeah, that's really good.
Some of them have an ear for that, you know. That's amazing. Okay, you guys, we are at the last 10 minutes. We are going to bring back that topic of recovering and cures. And I definitely want to get someone up here who actually believes that so they can, tell us why. Um, but in the meantime, if anyone wants to come up, I'm gonna put up the put the invite link in the chat. If you have something to share, if you have a business, you want to talk about if you have an organization, you want to talk about if you're doing something awesome for autism, if you just want to share anything, come on up. Come on up and join us and share, share, share. We got a few minutes left and the floor is open for you. Lorienda says, I live for DeAndre Casey. Share with us. Right, my
Oh yeah.
heart. Um, hey, twins and company.
Hi, Twins and Company.
Y'all have a great week. Happy Halloween. Check these candies, please, because you never know. Oh, yeah. Yeah. So if you're going out trick or treating, we don't go out trick or treating, but we try to do the parties if they have every once in a while. But definitely, if you're going out door to door, especially make sure you check your little ones or big ones candies before they're eating it. That's very important. We don't want to believe there's cruel people out here, but there are cruel people out here in this world. So just be safe and be careful and, you know, be careful for our babies.
Yeah,
So
that's
if you have,
beyond cruel. That's sick.
yeah, okay, that's it. We'll use what Mr. Charles said. Yeah, it is sick. Happy Halloween. Hey. Um, so anyone wants to come up, feel free. We have a couple more minutes. Love DeAndre wearing his fire and police outfit. Oh yes. The firefighter outfit was perfect. We left that day and we went to the Miracle League, the the field. They were having their last game and they had a Halloween party and they gave them gifts so they were able to play in their costumes. Then to top it off, they had the fire truck there, the ladder truck. So DeAndre was just so excited. And it was like he almost got nervous. He was nervous. He was standing there like I had to loosen him up. What's wrong? This is what you wanted. He was excited all the way there. And then when he actually got to see the firemen in the fire truck, it was like he just clammed up. Yes. Yeah, being shy. Exactly. So, everybody, if anyone wants to come up, going once, going twice, I'm going to put the link in here. And once again, if you have something to share, if you're doing something awesome for autism, if you have an organization, if you have a business, if you're selling something and you like to share, if you just want to share some kind words, come on up. Our last few minutes. Melissa says, have a great week, everyone. Happy Halloween. Um, And on your way out, make sure you thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Show us some love. Lorienda says, good night, everyone. Have a beautiful week.
Good
Uh,
night, Lorienda.
and here's Teresa. You got some last
Thanks,
words for
Lisa.
us, Teresa, before we sign off?
Yeah, last Sunday I really enjoyed being up there
Oh, yeah.
on there.
Teresa helped me last Sunday in your absence.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, because I was fixing that turkey, but I had
Oh,
to
yeah.
share the
That looks
turkey with the group,
delicious.
though. I had to share
That
that with
looks
the group,
delicious.
and in the comments on that, I put what went into the stuffing there. So if anybody wants to try it when they next time they make turkey, um, you know,
I think
I'm
I'm going
not
to
keeping
try
it to myself.
it.
That food looked good.
Beth says, my brother is a lieutenant at our fire department. Oh, awesome. We have holdings there so he can work and let others be with their families. My grandson thinks it's awesome. Yes, that
Oh
is
yeah.
awesome. That is awesome. All right. Same to you. Okay. So I guess no one wants to come up. So
Well,
on that
somebody
note,
did. Lisa did.
oh, well, Teresa's always here. Teresa's always here. How's David?
He's doing good. Actually, at the end of November, I will not be online with you guys.
Uh-oh, what's happening?
David is going to be admitted to the hospital due to we have a week long video EEG done to
Okay,
see if he still has seizures or not.
okay.
So we're in there for a week.
So praying for David. Hope everything turns out.
So that's the
Okay.
only day I'll miss it.
Hope it goes well.
Danielle says, have a great fall week. Sip some cider, hot chocolate, play in. Ooh, the hot chocolate sounds good, Danielle. Play in the leaves. Self-care, everybody. Self-care. Have we heard from Kate? Yeah, she's in there. She's in here, right here. She's saying, night, y'all.
All right,
Popped in.
Elizabeth.
And she's super busy. Super busy. Twins Company says you haven't. No, it's not my event, but it is if you are in the Metro Detroit area. November the 3rd, there is a fundraising dance event given by Autism in the D. So if you want more information on that, I have a flyer on my wall. She's awesome. What she's trying to do is get a gym built for our autistic loved ones within the city instead of out on the outskirts here, but within the city. So she's holding a fundraiser and a dance. So here on Facebook is Autism in the D. On Instagram is Autism in the D, and I forgot what it is on TikTok. But I was supposed to be there to set up a table, but unfortunately I can't because it's on a Friday and it'll be too much of a rush for me after work and trying to get there and get DeAndre together. But for anybody else, if you are in the Metro Detroit area, I encourage you to go support her in her endeavor. On the website, you can get a ticket to the dance for $1. But of course, if you can do a little more to help with her fundraising, that would be awesome because what she's doing is awesome. Autism in the D. So make sure you check that out on or here on Facebook. I think she's more active on Instagram though. Self-care is important. Definitely, Cynthia. Definitely. Are we able to participate? Because oh yeah, yeah. It's open to everybody. So I would definitely check it out. Autism in the D, Instagram. I'm gonna have to get with Danielle real soon so we can come up with another fun event um, around here. So pretty soon, and maybe in a couple months. Maybe in a couple months. Sensitive Santa, December 9th. Well, you can't promote without coming up here, Kate. So you got to come on up here. No promoting. Come on up. Come on up if you want to Um, if you want to promote your sensitive Santa, which I think is great, but come on up here before we log off. Yes, please keep in touch and let us know what you're doing too. Let me know what you're doing. If you're doing something awesome, you are welcome to come on up and share any events you are having. Um, yes. So in a couple months, I'm thinking I will definitely have a lot of time in a couple months. So I really want to do something fun along with fundraising also. Nebraska is not the best for autism children. Why is that? They lacking in service?
So I take it you're in Nebraska, Cynthia?
Yeah, is that where you're located? I'm thinking because you hear a lot about lack of service in so many of these states or waiting lists.
Yeah, there's certain states that have lack of services for the people with autism.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then they say the older they get, it's really hard to get services for the older adults that need it. Okay, so we will have to talk about that. That's another topic we can talk about, Cynthia, again, and maybe we can get some resources going on. But in the meantime, last words, Mr. Charles.
Again, everybody have a great week. Again, take care of yourself and don't fall for the snake oil.
Teresa.
Just everybody have a good weekend and have a happy Halloween.
Yes. And be safe. Be
yes.
safe. Is she still doing it? Let me. Kate, if you want to promote, I put the link in there. Come on up. Yes, thank you, Mr. Charles.
Oh, I appreciate
we
this.
We love Mr. Charles.
Yeah, David's actually going trick or treating on Tuesday.
Night, Cynthia.
Night, Cynthia. Have a great week, and remember, you matter. Oh, you don't want to come up. All right, Kate.
Night, Kate.
Do us that way. Y'all, it's okay. Awesome. We have to keep in touch, collaborate on some things. Yeah, Sammy is down. He was up here under my feet. Then I think I'm gonna have to go do some investigating because it's something about the furnace. When it comes on, he just barks. Then it cuts off. I don't know. Maybe it's the humming.
It's the humming noises.
When it first comes on, I don't know.
I've seen dogs do that.
Well, I put it in there twice, but I'm about to log off. So join us next Sunday, Kate. Next Sunday we'll be here, and we will be waiting for you. And to all of you guys, have a great night. Same place, same time. Remember, our topic for next week will be recoveries and cures. And if there's anyone who wants to come up and talk on, speak on that topic, we're going to welcome you on up here on the platform. And until next time, I appreciate each and every one of you. Have a great night.
See you next Sunday.
All right.
See
Night,
you next
everyone.
Sunday.